Well, I can't really say I slept very well. The ground is like a rock. Actually camped on some sand, but it's incredibly compact. But on the bright side, the jungle alarm clock is calling. Just further upriver there's a whole heap of gibbons. So well, let's see if we can track them down. I'm tracking down a troop of gibbons just up ahead. What I really want to do is get close enough to record their call. Now gibbons are incredibly loud. I'm sure you can hear them. They're just up in the tree, just up ahead. Let's see if we can't get close enough for a good clear recording. The first thing on the agenda for a gibbon in the morning when they wake up is to tell their neighbours where they are. And that's exactly what this troop is doing right now. So, I'll switch off the camera and get recording.
With the recording a success, it was time to head back and pack up camp. And play Jungle Gourmet Barista. Yeah, I really needed this coffee. So I headed further upriver and decided to explore a tributary. It flowed into a nice little rocky gorge. Leaf monkeys rustled on the trees overhead, and small fish darted among the rocks in the shallows. However, I wanted to head further up the main river, so I turned back.
Well, I was climbing around the rock there on the right, and I brushed up against the rock a little bit close, and the pouch I carry my spare torch in simply ripped open and straight into the water. So I took off my bag and basically decided to have a bit of a rest here. It's absolutely beautiful. And this is one thing I just can't get over. Here in Asia, it's getting incredibly difficult to find anywhere that's got no trace of humans. In practically, well, not practically, but absolutely everywhere else I've been, you'll find plastic lying around. You'll see cooking fires, there'll be villages upstream, people's pets running around. You'll hear the noise of motorbikes, but out here there's none of that. This is by far the wildest place I've been so far in Borneo. These places are getting incredibly rare. So enjoy them while they last, because at this rate they won't be around for much longer. Another thing I enjoy is being able to drink out of the stream. This is something I wouldn't dream of in most other places in Asia I've been to, but here, so far so good.
I still had to find somewhere to camp for the night and have it ready by midday, so I continued.
So right now, what I'm doing is every time I see a bit of flat land near the river, I have a look at it to see how far inland I can go. Now, the reason for that is I really want to get some recordings throughout the day and night of a lot of the local wildlife here. Oi. But the problem is, with the sound of the river gurgling away in the background, it just destroys the recordings. Yes, you can remove the sound of the river later, but you invariably lose a lot of the sound you've been trying to catch with it. So best thing, get it right the first time. Find a nice flat area of land well away from the river, and yeah, set up camp. It's now lunchtime. Well, looks like I've finally found tonight's camping spot. Right in the middle of this vine thicket. Now this is tarsier country. That's the animal I really want to get some better photos of tonight, and hopefully some video. If we're lucky, might even get to see some tarsiers hunting. So, what I'll do is I'll set up the tent and yeah, get settled in. There's a thunderstorm approaching, so it's best to get this tent ready now.
Something unusual caught my eye when I headed out after sunset.
Now this would have to be one of the world's most unusual beetles. It's the violin beetle, and they're supposedly fairly common around here, but after nights and nights and nights of searching for all sorts of things, this is the first one I've seen. They're a very unusual shape. You see the very elongated head, thorax, but the abdomen is very flat. The wings are also very flat, giving it the appearance of a guitar or violin. Pretty cool. I'll put him back.
Moving further along, I found a swampy area full of frogs.
Right, I've found a waggler's pit viper. It's one of the nasty little venomous snakes here found in Borneo. I do say nasty, but they're usually very mild-mannered. Until they're disturbed. This one is rather disturbed. He's taken a few shots at me already, so keep my eye on him. Watch this.
When disturbed, this pit viper shakes its tail, much like its close cousins, the rattlesnakes. A bite from this snake is not something you want. Further along, I was just in time for dinner. Not my dinner, of course, but it may have been a good night for this red triangle keelback snake, but not a good night for this rough-armed tree frog, which is doing his best to choke the snake, it seems. But the snake eventually wins, enjoying the aftertaste. More common than most people realise is this Bornean leopard cat. Larger than most domestic cats, it does look like a young leopard. Finally, something caught my eye in the dark. It is a colony of luminous mushrooms, but it had been a long night, so I had to head back to camp.